for you fans who enjoy the Dodgers and the Red Lakes. If you're close by, won't you come on down? You'll enjoy it here at Dodger Stadium. A gorgeous day, shirt sleeve crowd, everybody having a wonderful time. Okay, we're set to go. The bases loaded, bottom of the first inning. Ron Fairley up there. Perky, the great pitcher of the Red Lakes, set to go. He faces him. He has his sign. There's the windup. The pitch.
How did you get here?
A farmer picked us up. I was beginning to like that old car, Jim.
Then you shot him.
Yeah. Right between the eyes.
Howdy, folks! Welcome to the Spaghetti Theater for the Spaghetti Theater Review. Bang! I'm just kidding. Crispin, sit here. Once in a while I'll come across a movie like this that somehow gets overlooked in the mainstream and ends up in a collection of 100 movies for $30, meaning its value is less than $1. I've had this collection since 2006, and I've watched most of them. However, I avoided the SADIST, since the only actor they credit on here for it as the main star is Arch Hall Jr. That dork from EGA, which is also on here, and I've also seen many times on Mystery Science Theater 3000, so I assumed I was getting that kind of movie. Something that headlines Arch Hall Jr.
Hi, Roxy.
Sorry about my face.
Only in the end, when I finally did watch this movie, Arch Hall Jr. turned out to be the best damn part. All due to his performance as this lunatic kid with a gun.
He's a big man. Come on. The one bullet's gone.
And zero conscience. That and the tightly written script with good direction, good enough acting, and all on a very low budget. I like movies like this. They utilize the good writing, acting, and the filming locations are always basically in one spot. Still manage to make a good, compelling, and very intense film, proving that you don't always need big budgets and special effects to make a good movie. And I must first give thanks to friend and fellow YouTuber Dave Real Gems for posting this movie on his channel, Real Gems Reviews, or I may have never seen this public domain gem. So let's take a gander at Arch Hall Jr.'s best acting performance by far. In 1963's The Sadist. You're all just gonna sit there and you're gonna listen to my review. Or you can just turn it off and I can pull your heads off. So yeah, even though I'm hailing this as some sort of excellent film, the best I've seen in years, its subject matter is a bit dark. So be prepared for that. And spoilers too. So it all starts off with these three school teachers driving through the desert, en route to a Dodgers game. Three normal human beings unaware of the craziness they're about to endure. Oh yeah, and besides being based on real-life serial-killing couple Charles Starkweather and Carol Fugate, this movie was remade twice as The Badlands, and then again as Natural-Born Killers. But it also reminds me personally a lot of the film Judgment Night. So anyway, their car's fuel pump breaks and they're forced to pull over at this off-road desert repair shop and junkyard in the middle of fucking nowhere. Only the place seems deserted and no one in charge is around to greet them. So they wander around looking for signs of life, only nothing. Which is the first sign right there, folks, that something isn't right. So they help themselves to a Coke and wait around for a bit, hoping that someone will just pop out of nowhere, all ready to install a new fuel pump for them. That's when we get to find out why this school teacher lady named Doris is going to a Dodgers game in the first place. Because she's a woman and they're clueless when it comes to baseball.
That's a home run.
And we all know why, right?
Because he has to, that's the rule.
Why are you crying?
Because there's no crying in baseball!
There's no crying in baseball!
I know, but if no one can make him out, why does he have to run around the bases?
Oh, you zip it, Doris!
He must touch every base.
So they start yelling for assistance.
Hey, what about some service?
As the cameraman is kind enough to tell us, the audience, that the phone line to this house has been cut. Bum, bum, bum! I wonder who the fuck did that shit. You'll see. So finally, out of patience, the younger school teacher, Ed is his name. Hey, that's the same name as me. I certainly hope he comes out on top then. Anyway, Ed tracks down another fuel pump in one of these old junkyards.
We got ourselves a fuel pump if it's any good.
And plans on borrowing some tools and just doing the job himself, since no one's around.
I'll borrow a few wrenches and we'll soon be out of here.
And seeing these sudden skills that Mr. Ed has been hiding, Lady Doris has a newfound interest in him.
Mr. Stiles has many talents.
Allowing the older teacher here, who's already married and with kids, the chance to play Cupid.
Be a lucky woman that hooks it.
So Mr. Ed gets to work on removing that fuel pump and is forced to go all Bruce Willis and Die Hard on her with his early 60s gun show.
I don't want to shock you, Miss Page, but I'd rather not get my shirt dirty.
So try to restrain yourselves, ladies. Don't worry, I'm sure the great Arch Hall Jr. is lurking around out there somewhere.
I figured it out. He's a cyst with teeth and hair.
Then we get to find out that they're also in snake country, when Doris spots this shedded snakeskin and nearly has a heart attack.
Just a snakeskin they shed this time of year.
So, just like in Ega,
Watch out for snakes.
Something.
watch out for snakes! And don't you forget it!
Got it!
So Mr. Old Teacher, Carl is his name, the real hero of the film, discovers evidence of people recently being present and their cat, SADIST. Then eventually, as Mr. Ed's still working on the car, someone finally makes their presence known as we see this terrifying gun's point of view shot. Doris spots this first and screams out loud. As we see that it's just Arch Hall Jr. with a gun and his mute girlfriend. It's fine. I'm sure he works here and just wants to help with the car. I don't know what the gun's for. Only no. He's a psychopath and so is his girlfriend. So this shit just got real. Thus the gun. I don't think you're gonna make that Dodgers game. So Arch Hall Jr. takes it away immediately with this weird ass strut that he does towards them. Horrified and positive I'm gonna die. Way to go, Arch Hall Jr. So he forces Mr. Ed to get back to work
Because you're gonna fix your car just like you intended.
so he can finish his repairs, allowing him to steal the car and make his escape. Right after killing Ned. Because at this point we're to assume that the people who run this place are probably all dead. He then uses this opportunity to harass and terrify Doris with his crazy ass baby face and gun, which amuses him immensely. Bang! He's a child. So he steals old man Carl's wallet, who kindly informs Mr. Arch Hall Psychopath that they're all teachers.
But we're only school teachers, young man.
Only stupid move, Carl, because like one would assume, any adult exerting authority would be someone that they hate and gladly willing to execute in cold blood for, you know, kicks. Bang! Anyway, I was right. They hate teachers.
We don't like school teachers.
Which is when we find out that his mute girlfriend here is named Judy.
Do it, Judy.
Aw, not Roxy? I still want to believe that this is what became of their characters from Ega. After Ega was killed, Roxy was never the same. Went mute, changed her name to Judy, and the same with Arch Hall Jr. So while going through Carl's wallet, Arch discovers his Dodgers tickets. And yup, tears them up, because he's a little asshole. Then, for more kicks, pistol whips Carl in the face for thinking he's better than him, which he is. Most people probably are. He then finds a family photo that Carl had in his wallet, and once again, tears that up too. Fuck your family, Carl. They look happy and satisfied with life. This then sends him on a rant, blaming Carl for all of poor Judy's problems in life.
Teachers used to call Judy dumb, make fun of her.
And pistol whips him again for it. How would you like that, Crispin? Yeah, you think you're better than me, Crispin? You will think you're better than me. I wouldn't hurt Crispin. I'm not as crazy as him. So finally annoyed, Mr. Ed steps up and says something, pointing out that without that gun, you wouldn't be calling the shots, little fuckhead.
I wonder how tough you'd be without that gun. Put down that gun and I'll show you how big you are.
Which only angers Arch Hall Jr., so he demands Mr. Ed's wallet too, and uses that gun and his own natural craziness to try to strike some fear into Ed. Just waiting for him to snap and pull the trigger with no remorse. You can see it in his eyes. Those crazy ass eyes. So eventually Mr. Ed goes back to working on the car, as Doris tends to Carl. Then requests that Mr. Crazy as Fuck let her go get some water for him.
May I get some water?
Only he's the one who did this to him, so I'm sure he doesn't care.
What kind of a person are you?
Ed's then allowed to go over and try to stop the bleeding, as Arch and Judy start enjoying each other right there in front of everyone. So Doris lets him know how she feels,
Oh, by all means, enjoy your lovemaking.
since Doris is willing to stand up to his shit,
You're no more than an animal.
even though he's about to pistol whip her next.
You get your dirty hands off me.
You leave her alone if you want the car fixed.
So way to go, Doris, and he actually allows her to go get some water,
Go ahead.
which she does, only to be followed by Arch and his knife, leaving his gun with little Miss Nutbag here.
If I hear a shot, your girlfriend is dead.
That's when Ed comments to Carl that he heard all about this lunatic on the news.
Remember reading last week about those brutal killings in Arizona?
So he really is a psycho killer. So Doris gets the water and starts to head back, only to be stopped by Arch, who goes on another "you think you're better than me" rant.
You think you're so much better than me. You kinda all think that way. You call me inhuman.
So she tries apologizing for being a better human being than him.
All right, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that.
Only reason doesn't matter with this psycho.
You're sorry, but you still think it.
Then really gets in her face with a knife before tearing her dress.
Maybe Miss Goody Goodgood still thinks she's so much better than me.
Rubbing her face in the dirt and then violating her boob off screen, which is probably for the best because this actress is also Arch Hall Jr.'s cousin. And it's her only acting credit ever, introducing and saying goodbye to this lady, Doris. So Doris stumbles back to Ed and Carl, all freshly violated, which only amuses Judy.
You want that car fixed, you can do it yourself.
Starting to be the big man again, huh?
So Ed lets Arch Hall Jr. know that they know who he really is.
You're the big man, Tibbs. That's the name, isn't it? Charlie Tibbs, the big man who killed 7 people, made them get on their knees and shot them in the head. Paper calls you a thrill killer. It must be a real thrill to wipe out a family of 5.
An entire family, and God only knows how many others since then. For kicks, apparently. He's beyond a troubled teen at this point. It's only a matter of time before the law catches up with him, as they warn him.
The law's bound to catch up with you sooner or later.
So now pissed that they're all judging him again and thinking that they're better than him, goes back into full psycho mode and makes everyone shut up.
If it opens them up again, I'll blow their brains out!
This person's talking bleeding up! Crazy. Makes them all shut up and get back to work. They all do shut up though and get back to work. Or he will blow your fucking head off.
All of a sudden, everybody's becoming the big talker.
He hates big talkers, since, well, his vocabulary only consists of big dumb idiot laughs, threats against your life while having a gun pointed directly in your face with his crazy ass face behind it. So everyone shuts up and does what he says. So he orders Judy to fetch him another Coke,
Judy! Give me a soda!
as he fucks with his captors by firing a few shots off around them. One blowing out this tire, and the other one right above Carl's head. which, from what I read online, was real. Arch Hall Jr. was apparently a sharpshooter. An old guy here just trusted him and let him do it. So Judy returns with some cokes for them to enjoy. Then whispers something to Arch Hall that Doris just knows means trouble.
They're going to do something terrible. I just know it.
So he forces Carl down on his knees as he really starts to get worried now.
Down on your knees.
Arch Hall then tells him to start running his mouth, just like he was before.
Talk all you want.
Because once he finishes that coke,
As soon as I finish this, you're gonna be through talking. School will be out for you, teacher.
he plans on executing you too, Mr. Old Man School Teacher. So naturally Carl begs for his life, even though you know this fucker doesn't care. Even offers him money, only to be made fun of.
Is it money you need? I have close to $2,300 in the bank.
He sure is talking a lot different than he did a while ago. Ain't he, Judy?
Well, I must say, what a scumbag. He then tries to bring out some compassion in him by bringing up his family.
You have a father, don't you?
I have one, you have one.
Would you want someone doing this to him?
Don't you feel love for any of them?
Think of your own father in my place.
However, I'm sure their parents are no different than that of Rodney Dangerfield in Natural Born Killers. So out of ideas, Carl starts to cry.
Can't you understand?
Look at him squirm, Judy.
As we get this well-planned shot of Arch Hall Jr. drinking his execution soda. He even drinks his sody pop like he's a scumbag. So Carl begs some more to this asshole.
You just can't wipe out a man's life like this.
As Ed and Doris are helpless to do anything. Any move from them means instant death, even though Carl begs Ed for help.
Ed, you can't let him do this. Maybe he'll listen to you. Talk to him.
Which must suck to be Ed right now because he really can't do shit. Which is probably what Arch Hall Jr. loves so much about all this. He has all the power. Thanks to Mr. Gun here. So he finishes the coke, cocks the gun, points it directly at Carl, goes all crazy face, so that this psycho unibrow is the last thing you ever see, because he must have did something to his eyes to make him look more crazy. Then, bang! He shoots Carl in the head, execution style, killing the poor old guy. So there you have it. We already knew it, but now we got to witness it for ourselves. This guy is a psychotic scumbag, an all-around pile of shit with no soul. So Doris loses it and really lets Arch Hall Jr. know what she thinks of him and his ways.
You must Doris.
Shut up.
Stand yourself. You go ahead and shoot. Go on, shoot. Go on, shoot.
As a more calmer and thinking about life Ed tries to calm her down, even has to slap her. She's right though. It's hard to blame her. A guy like this is gonna kill you no matter what you do. So do it already, you fucking prick. Then at the same time you can also understand Ed, who's thinking that every second they're still alive is a chance that they can find a way to save themselves from this same kind of death. So to calm down and now ready to kill them, Arch Hall Jr., Ed agrees to go back to fixing the car.
You're gonna need that car now, and I'm the only one that can fix it.
So he settles down for a bit and sends Judy off for more cokes.
Judy, go get me a soda.
Well, that was intense. A human being is dead, as Ed and Doris discuss what just happened.
What could I do? What could anyone have done?
What could they do to stop him, really? And what about poor Carl's family when they find out about this shit? Because as they point out, you can't reason with this guy.
You can't reason with that kid. He wants blood, Doris, and nobody's gonna talk him out of it.
He was gonna kill Carl no matter what they said or did.
He's a psycho, Doris.
So Ed finally gets that fuel pump out of the junkyard and over to their car as they discuss the possibilities of just running for their lives, which Ed dismisses since Arch Hall Jr. would probably simply just gun them all down.
Got us down before we got 5 feet.
As Judy returns with some cokes. They do love their cokes, these two. Good thing it's not booze. Can you imagine this guy wasted? Movie would be over already. Doris then briefly has hope that another car might arrive.
Maybe a car will come by and stop.
Only he would just kill them.
You kill them and us too.
Durhead. Unless they were cops.
They do patrol this highway.
But I wouldn't count on it at this point. Running sounds more hopeful. So Ed then tries to figure out how many bullets he has left in his gun.
I'm going to try to find out how many more shots he has left, or if he has reloaded or not.
But how will we find out?
By logically trying to deduct how many have been fired.
4 shots we know of. That leaves 4. He probably shot the people here too. There must have been 2. Remember what Carl told us about the settings in the kitchen? If he shot them, that leaves 2 shots.
Only there's no way to be 100% sure. That's when he comes strolling on over, with his gun, grinning as usual. So he pretty much lays it out to him, that they can either fix the car now, and be killed immediately after.
You fix it, because that lets you live a little longer. If you don't want to fix a car, you die right now.
Or just be killed now for refusing to help, cause
Well, there's a road, there's cars.
he can always just go back to hitchhiking until some poor dope picks him up and he goes all, well, the hitcher on them too.
Somebody will pick us up. They always have.
Is that how you got here from Arizona?
The sailor picked us up.
Like the sailor who picked him up, which he kindly tells him a tale of.
Thought he was a real lover, huh, Judy?
Thought he was a real lover. Everything he says sounds more psychotic than the last, no matter what he's saying. Love the way he said that line.
Thought he was a real lover, huh, Judy?
Thought he was a real lover. So Ed keeps asking him about who he's killed, still trying to figure out how many shots he's fired.
How did you get here?
A farmer picked us up.
Shoot him too?
He sure prayed when he went, Judy.
As he goes on about one guy that he killed praying to the Lordy Lord, or as he says it, praying to the Lordy Lord.
He reached for the sky and talked to the Lordy Lord.
The Lordy Lord, who I assume Crazy Arch Hall Jr. does not believe in. Probably just shoot him in the face too. Only he's not as dumb as you think, Mr. Ed, and catches on to his counting bullets plan.
You're counting bullets.
So shows Mr. Ed that he has plenty of fresh clips left ready to go. So that plan's fucked.
Only got 1 bullet left. Unless I reload it.
Yet the current clip in the gun may or may not have just 1 bullet in it. So Arch Hall fires it into the dirt to see if Mr. Ed's brave enough to come after him.
Come on, maybe the gun's empty.
So yeah, a 50-50 chance the gun's empty. And possibly Ed's only chance to beat this guy. So Arch pulls the trigger and click! Only has plenty of time to reload a fresh clip. As Arch himself says, that was your chance.
You had a chance, mister. You should have taken it.
And now it's gone. As Ed starts to look like, shit, maybe I am a wuss. Only what would you have done? Was it worth it? He couldn't be 100% sure that gun was empty. I give him a pass on that. Most people would have been too terrified to try. That's when Judy does that, whisper something into Arch's ear as he makes a crazy face. When dumb looking and psychotic looking meet, you get this.
Ooh, that face. I feel handsome in comparison.
Thus alerting Doris that he's about to do something insane again. Just like he did to Carl.
They're getting ready to do something.
So he stands up and points his gun at them when...
You.
The sound of motorcycle engines in the distance arrives, to the delight of Doris.
Police. They're coming, Mr. Stiles. I told you they would.
It's the highway patrol and now they're saved. And she lets Crazy Arch Hall know it too.
They're coming after you. You hear me? You're not going to kill anymore.
I love how she's willing to openly despise this guy. So he starts to panic and locks Ed up in a trunk.
And I'm going to burn down.
And has Judy hold a knife on Doris as he goes to deal with the cops. So they arrive. 2 highway patrol officers on motorcycles. Arch Hall strolls on over pretending to be a friend of the family, but Doris ends up in a struggle with Judy and screams for help. Forcing Arch Hall Jr. to just gun down both the cops right then and there. Bang, bang! So that shit's over. Another one bites the dust. So Arch goes back to that trunk with Ed in it and tells him to
Get out.
get out. As Judy slaps Doris for, well, fighting for her life. They then get to see for themselves that, yep, he killed those 2 cops, alright. Meaning now he has not 1, but 2 more guns. Hooray! Everything's coming up Archie. So Ed warns him that now that he's murdered 2 cops, he's truly fucked. And now you're gonna have the whole damn force after you.
You're gonna have every officer in California looking for you.
Which, he's not afraid of them.
They don't scare me. Nobody scares me.
He's crazy. He's almost James Cagney and White Heat level of cop hating crazy. That's when Arch finally gets tired of all this shit with Ed and Doris and puts a time limit on their lives. 15 minutes.
I'll give you 15 minutes to fix it.
That's what you had to fix that fuel pump.
Why should I fix it? You'll only kill us when I get done.
I'm giving you 15 more minutes of life, mister. If you don't want it, I'll blow your head off right now.
Or just die now. So as they fuck around with their new motorcycles and Cat, Ed and Doris are starting to lose hope. Another chance to escape this craziness has just been ruined by the very same craziness.
15 minutes. What are we going to do?
So as Ed goes back to work, they get to hear a police call come in from one of the bike radios.
All units. Be on the alert for 2 Arizona murder suspects believed to be in California.
Telling them to look out for Crazy Arch Hall Jr. and his mute, soulless girlfriend, Judy. And as Ed points out, yeah,
If only that radio call had come 2 minutes earlier.
just a few more minutes and they might not be dead. Irony, folks. Arch Hall Jr. irony. This movie's a lot more real than your average Hollywood flick at the time. Bad guy can win for a while. Right, Crispin?
That's some crazy ass shit, man, but yeah, you're right. The bad guy can win. Sometimes. He's gonna get killed, right?
You'll see, number one. You'll see. So what now, they wonder? Just go for it and run.
Looks like we'll have to run for it.
It's better than being put on your knees and quietly executed like poor Carl was. So with nothing else left, Ed comes up with an elaborate plan.
I got an idea. It may not work, but at least it's your chance.
Even crazier than Larry Appleton's plans. Well, maybe not that crazy. A plan to run Arch Hall Jr. over with the car. Or at least discombobble him for a few precious seconds.
I'm gonna try to lure him in front of the car. We might not hit him.
Figuring that Arch Hall Jr. is dumb when it comes to car engines, one might assume. He's actually a pilot in real life. But you wouldn't think he knows shit about engines when he laughs like this.
Like a Cabbage Patch Elvis.
He even turns on the radio so he can listen to that Dodgers game that they're supposed to be at.
It's going to be Bob Perkey going for the Reds and Sandy Koufax for the Dodgers. It should be quite a picturesque battle.
Only no, we're here on Crazy Arch Hall Jr.'s countdown to our death.
How does it feel when you're about to die?
Anyway, Ed's whole elaborate plan to control the gas pedal from within the engine fails too when Arch Hall suspects that something's up.
Get out.
Even more so when the now running car won't start for him. Ed tries to make up another excuse to buy them more time.
You must have did something. Look, this pup has been in a wrecked car for who knows how long. Now, sometimes they get clogged and don't hold the pressure. I should take it out and clean it.
Only Arch Hall Jr. is tired of not killing them already, and informs him that he's not actually a total idiot when it comes to car engines.
You think you're fooling me, don't you? Think I don't nothing but cars, don't you?
And orders him to,
That thing right there, that's a carburetor. The car can't run unless there's gas in it. All you gotta do is prime it.
which, being dumber than Arch Hall Jr. and Mr. Ed here, means nothing to me.
So you prime it.
So Ed gets the gas pump and goes to put it into the carburetor when he sprays it right in Arch Hall Jr.'s demonic little face. Take that, you sack of human dog shit. I was wondering if that gas pump would ever come into play. And what do you know? I love it when a movie satisfies. I knew they didn't put that there for nothing. I thought they would spray it at him when he was lighting a cigarette or some shit. So now, a blinded Arch Hall Jr. screams in pain. And just starts firing his gun at anything. As Ed takes cover and Doris runs for her life, after dodging 2 bullets from Judy. Then hides in this barn. Then, a still blinded Arch Hall shoots the first person he sees coming out. And it's Judy! The one person he didn't want to kill. But she does get to have her one and only line before dropping dead. And it's his name. Charlie. So once his vision returns and he sees that he's killed his precious fellow psychopath and girlfriend, he totally loses it. More so.
Oh, Judy!
So Ed runs for his life, only to be shot at and missed by crazy Arch Hall, who's got nothing left now but to go after them, and simply makes psycho killer noises instead of actual words. That's not a word. That's just him being crazy. So Ed gets himself a pipe weapon as Crazy Archhall Jr. searches the junkyard for them. Now in full crazy as fuck mode. The unibrow of insanity has taken over him completely. Ed then sees him closing in on Doris, so he warns her.
Doris, run!
And she makes a run for it. Arch takes a few shots at her, but she manages to get away. And hauls her shoeless ass down the road. You go, girl! So then Arch goes after Ed, who is almost done in thanks to this mirror. Only manages to get away again, as this gets more and more intense. So Crazy as fuck Archhall Jr. loads a new clip into the gun, and chases Ed into this barn, where he fires a shit ton of shots at him, but misses every time. So Ed escapes out this side door and down this way, only to find himself cornered, trapped, just as Archhall Jr. finds him. Cornered, trapped, fucked. So all ready to be shot dead by Archhall Jr., he pulls the trigger. Only, click, the gun's empty. So Ed sees his final chance and makes a full charge at this sack of fucking shit. Tackles him to the ground and punches his face so many times, so hard, that all that's left behind is a pile of goo that used to be crazy ass Archhall Jr.'s face. Yes! Movie's over. Only no, that's not what happens at all. Archhall Jr. still has one of those cops' guns, remember? And he pulls it out literally in the nick of time to put 2 bullets into poor Ed, who drops right there directly in front of him. A then almost defeated Archhall unloads the remaining bullets into him, all slow and crazy like. Ed's dead, baby. Ed's dead. Well, shit. At this point, I was highly invested in this guy, bringing down this fuckhead. Only nope, the movie threw a friggin' curveball at me. And although I'm sad that he's dead, I'm glad they didn't go the easy, predictable route that we all wanted. Because now there's only one person left for him to kill. Still running her ass off, Doris, who he goes after in their car, leaving dead-ass Judy behind. Was it worth it, Judy? Judy. Should have dated someone more sane like Cary Grant. So he goes after her with the car until it gets stuck in the sand and then stalls out again, dead. Again. So he goes after her on foot now, as Doris comes across this house. Only it's trashed and abandoned and no one's there either. Just as crazy ass Archhall Jr. tracks the same place down. So she slips out the back door and hides behind this half-built structure, where she's almost caught by a now armed with a knife Archhall. So she makes a final run for it. And just as he's a couple of feet away from her and it looks like it's all over for poor Doris, he falls straight through the ground and into this snake pit. Trapped and surrounded by poisonous snakes, who all start biting a terrified Archhall, who tries crawling out of the pit but can't. There's just no footing. And he's done in by the snakes and Doris gets away. Alive. The lone survivor of the craziest afternoon she will ever have. Everyone is dead but her as she reaches the car, which still has the Dodgers game playing on the radio.
You'll enjoy it here at Dodger Stadium. A gorgeous day, shirt sleeve crowd, everybody having a wonderful time.
Oh, the irony of how that was the very game they were supposed to go to. But since the car won't start again, she just starts walking down the road. Until someone finds her, I guess. And that's it. The end. With the same font from I Dream of Jeannie. That, folks, was Archhall Jr. as the sadist. Bang! Who, in the end, was done in by snakes. I did not see that shit coming. They even foreshadowed it in the beginning with the snake skins. And being a fan of MST3K, I've seen their version of Iga many times, and all I could think of when he fell into that snake pit was that line from Iga that was said by Arch Hall Sr.
Watch out for snakes.
Watch out for snakes! Well, sadly, this version of Arch Hall Jr. didn't watch out for snakes. And good riddance. He was a crazy-ass motherfucker who needed to die in the end. I was also reminded of Dolores Claiborne's crazy husband, falling down that well in Dolores Claiborne. But that's a whole other story. Which leads me into my final thoughts on The Sadist. Which, yeah, is one of the best movies I've seen in years. They made this compelling film on a very small budget and filmed it entirely in one junkyard. And they were able to get an excellent, unforgettable performance out of Arch Hall Jr.
You're the big man. Come on, the one bullet's gone. Come on, maybe the gun's empty.
And I loved Arch Hall Jr.'s performance in this film so much that I made a friggin' painting of it, folks. What do you think of that shit, huh? Arch Hall Jr. pointing his gun at you. Because he's crazy. What well-off celebrity wants to buy this off me? For thousands of dollars. Just kidding. I'm not the only one who appreciates this film I know. Director Joe Dante owns the original 35mm copy of it. And of course, Quentin Tarantino based his Natural Born Killers screenplay on it. So let this movie be an inspiration for first-time filmmakers. You can do it too. All it takes is a good script, a camera, and some decent actors. Even if the movie's all about trying to escape the clutches of a pure evil psychopath like Arch Hall Jr. was. Which is the last thing I'll mention. Arch Hall Jr. His performance really did steal this show here. He plays a better nut than he does a dopey singing teenager.
Man, it looks like it hurts to be him.
And although he was never all that into acting, from what I've heard, he really pulled this one off. So way to go, Arch Hall Jr., who's in his 80s now. And with that, I'll end my look at this intense and unforgettable, crazy-ass film, The Sadist. So a big thanks again to all of my subscribers and leavers of comments. Always appreciated as usual. Keep them coming. You better! So adios for now, folks. And Crispin and I will see you at the theater. Let's go, Crispin. Yeah, you look terrified. You want to try doing that? And Crispin with a gun? Alright, Crispin. Here you go. Let's go.
Okay, you guys, I'm all set up in this thing. What was it for again?
Oh, if you must know, Joel, we're going to surgically alter your face so you look just like Arch Hall Jr. You know, Doctor?
Yes.
I have a mad punch to start with the arch hair.
Switching on our chair! Now, quickly, Dr. Tom, let's smoosh his face up to look like a sunburned baby.
Smush, sunburned baby Arch Hall Jr. face coming up.
I'll give him the Arch Hall nose and let's get the hell out of here.
Yes.
I don't want to look like Arch Hall Jr.
Movie,